The year is 2020, and we have finally arrived in the dark future, which provides an opportune moment to reflect on the past. The origin story of Cyberpunk 2077 effectively began during the 1980s, when the cyberpunk genre started to establish itself, following the 1982 movie Blade Runner, which was directed by Ridley Scott and based upon the 1968 novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, written by Philip K. Dick. Although at the time it was not a commercial success, Mike Pondsmith viewed Blade Runner as one of his favourite stories. He recalls watching it and saw it had great potential, leading him to believe that one of these days he needed to create something like Blade Runner. Mike would also read Walter John Williams' 1986 novel Hardwired. He found Hardwired to be fascinating, and it ultimately convinced him to start working on his first cyberpunk game. The world of Cyberpunk 2077 is inspired by the mysteries of urban life and a vision that combines a dystopian setting with advanced technology and film noir. Cyberpunk investigates the interface between people and technology, but not in a transhumanist way where it's all about the technology changing or improving them. It's about how people utilize technology. Neither is 2077 about V saving humanity, it's about V saving herself. The game aims to show how humanity uses tech to further personal selfish goals rather than benefit the world at large. Cyberpunk 2077 is cool. It's all about rebellion. It's about giving the system the proverbial augmented middle finger. It's not just an aesthetic. The most common themes that arise within the narrative can be demarcated into three distinct categories: posthumanism, postnationalism, and postindustrialism. Posthumanism is effectively a state where an entity exists beyond being just human, usually using technology. Alongside cyberspace, a term coined by William Gibson, there is a cornucopia of technology that can be found in cyberpunk, such as limb enhancements, brain computer interfaces, and neurochemical manipulation. In other words, the technology's aesthetic is one of transcending the limitations of flesh. It is this widespread adoption of technology that raises poignant questions, such as if we continually upgrade ourselves to become more intelligent or physically stronger. At what point do we become more machine than human? What impact does this augmentation have on V's mental state? How does tech exacerbate Night City's social inequalities? Interacting with engrams such as Johnny Silverhand, how do we even define life? Many wrongly believe that V will be the hero who takes down Militech, Arasaka, or some other megacorp. Neither is it just about the cyberware, it's about the ubiquity of the tech. If cyberware is rare, if they make the people who have them special, that's not Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberware must be available on the street level. To quote William Gibson's Burning Chrome, the street finds its own uses for things. Cyberpunk isn't just about the alienation that comes with future shock, or the questions about humanity raised by cybernetic enhancement and artificial intelligence. It's about the way powerless people find strength and solace by repurposing the future for their own ends. The streets and their inhabitants are central to Cyberpunk 2077. It's the powerless who suffer most in the kind of authoritarian regime cyberpunk fiction depicts. The rebels, misfits, and those who cannot afford sustenance are the ones who matter. It's all about fighting for your piece of ground so you can have a life. As Mike Pondsmith explains, the audience never sees the face of power in Blade Runner. Instead, they see an errand boy, Detective Gaff, but they never see the top level. Rick Deckard does not question what he is doing. Someone higher up in the pecking order tells him to kill replicants. But the crux of the matter is that when Deckard leaves with Rachel, is that he doesn't save the replicants. He saves Rachel and goes away. For Mike Pondsmith, that's not a hero's tale. That's somebody saving his skin and someone he cares about. That feeling that the chance that we have with each other and the chance of a better life is worth incurring the wrath of those unseen in mighty powers. Post-nationalism is a political ideology which embodies the process of nation-states or national identities becoming less important relative to supranational or self-organized entities, or in other words, global megacorporations take over. In Cyberpunk 2020, powerful megacorporations and their private security forces dominated proceedings following the complete collapse of the American and Russian economies. These elements interact with one another within a matrix of political corruption and social upheaval which is replete with crime, violence, and other vices. In some respects, the punk element of cyberpunk represents the counterbalance to these negative forces. Subversive groups such as visionaries and misfits tend to reassert their agency and become the protagonists within the cyberpunk narrative. Cyberpunk 2077 will place additional emphasis on values of expedience. They will do what she needs to do to survive, rather than just relying upon the traditional dichotomy of good versus evil as guidance. Style over substance will play an integral part in defining what a cyberpunk is. Attitude is of utmost importance. Post-industrialism reflects the decline of the manufacturing sector in contrast to its service and entertainment counterparts. Human labor is increasingly redundant in Night City, a place home to full conversions and AI amongst other things. This replacement of human labor increases the profound chasm between the wealthy and blue-collar workers, leading to further social unrest. Another key aspect of post-industrialism is that information increasingly becomes the most valuable currency in a world whose modus operandi is reliant upon cyberspace and technology. Hence why Edgerunners will feature prominently in Cyberpunk 2077.